Good morning. There are no simple answers to complicated emotions. There just aren't. No easy ways. Putting a bow on something is a way for me to train my mind to look at things in a different manner. It's not an easy exercise, but you practice it and you look at the positive. And at first, sometimes it's important to write things down, the pros and the cons. Anytime you buy anything, anytime you move, pros and cons. Well, now, as we get older, it makes it easier for us if we put the pros and the cons of each decision we're going to make. And when we do those pros and cons, then we can decide, or make a better decision maybe. So, our decisions are made on our personal experiences. Some people have very different experiences in their life, and it's easier for them to make certain decisions. But, ordinary person, kind of hard to do. I don't have any scientific studies to prove that what I'm saying is good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just an ordinary human being. I'm a 77-year-old woman, and I'm giving you my personal thoughts and my personal experiences and how I deal with my personal life. That's all there is to it. So, are you poor, or is it that you just aren't rich? And who decides what is poor and what is rich? What makes up wealth? How do you look at that? Staying positive in a van or anywhere place all the time is an illusion. We all, at some point in our lives, are lonely. We become depressed, and we become very negative. But we can train ourselves mentally, not physically, but mentally, working on this mind here, to be positive. And then it becomes natural. And so all the negativity that you've had, you can actually get rid of if you want to. This has to be up to you, nobody else. This is about you. You have to want to do this, and if you want to do it, you can do it. Now, many people say I can't. Okay, so you can't. I'm not going to argue with anybody about what they believe or they can't believe. If they don't try, then what's the point? You got to at least try to do something. So, in a van, I don't live out in the woods. I live in a city. And therefore, I think I'm not quite as lonely as someone who would be all by themselves out in the wilderness with the bugs and the animals and whatever. I'm not that person. So I do have a lot of social contact, and that social contact I've built into a community, and that community supports me in many ways, including the YouTube community. They support me. But when I talked in my previous video about putting a bow on something, that's training yourself to do that. It's just not natural to just put a bow and say, okay, it's an adventure, all right. Life just happens to everybody. And maybe your life is easier. Maybe you have never seen the downside. Maybe you just automatically always negative. Always think the worst scenario is going to happen. That's really your choice. It's really up to you. But what I do is look at everything. And if I don't like it and it's not a positive thing, I try to come up with ways to look at it in a positive way. The first thing I do is I am grateful for everything I am given. I don't have goal because I live right now in the present, this minute, this second, this day. I enjoy this thoroughly and I live it fully. whether it be in a van, in an apartment, in a house, doesn't matter. This is what I have. A goal is a future, and I don't look to the future, I look to today, to survive today, to live today, to enjoy today. That's the first thing I do. If I'm going to be lonely all day, that's not a good day. I just wasted it. If I'm going to be negative all day, I just wasted that day. If I'm going to feel sorry for myself, then, wasn't a good day. So do you want to have good days? You want to have bad days, really? Do you want to enjoy life and keep going? Or do you want to just stop? I mean, the choices are yours. It's all about us. We have anxiety. We worry about everything. We look at the news and we go, oh, worst case scenario. Seniors, I look at something and I look at the best case scenario because I already know what the worst case scenario is, okay? So what's the best case scenario? Or I just don't think about it at all. I pretend like it's not going to happen because it may not. It may not. I don't ignore life. I ignore other things that swirl around in my life. I am grateful for every moment I have. I can't say that enough. I am grateful for have reached 77. Many people do not. I am grateful that I have food on the table, a roof over my head, no matter what it is. I'm very fortunate. I'm grateful that I went through open heart surgery, and here I am. Not exactly like I was before. A little different. A little more introspective. But I'm still here. I made it through. I've made it through 2 cancers. I've made it through polio. I've made it through many diseases. And here I am. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And although many of you may not have a religion, you may not believe in anything, that's really your choice. My choice is that I think God is watching over me every single day. And He's blessed me with this time on earth. He has given me the gift of life. And I want to do as much with this life as I can until I don't have it anymore. So my gift to you is to live your life every day. And when you see something very negative come along, then look at it in a different way. When I was diagnosed with 2 cancers on the same day, kidney and breast, same day, they found 2 cancers on the same scan, and they informed me at the same time. One doctor. I said to myself, okay, so in a year I'll be rid of it. Okay, let's just do it. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. Whatever we have to do, do it. Let's finish it. Because I got a life to live, and I'll give up this 6 months or a year, and that's it. And so I only thought not of what was happening, but of the year afterwards, how I would feel. I would focus on how I would feel in a year. Because the present was more than I could handle. All these doctors was more than I can handle. So if I can't handle it, then I'm just going to ignore it and just go through the exercise of doing it, because that's all it is. And while I'm going through that, I'm looking at all the good things and all the things I can be grateful for. So your emotions are difficult, but if you recognize them and you understand who you are and how you cope, then you're better off to understand all of that and to just do it. Coping mechanisms, I guess is what they call it. How do you cope? Look at yourself. Change what you're unhappy about by training your mind in different manners. If it has to be a bow, stick a bow on it. If it has to be just going through the motions to get through it, then do it. But it's all about us. And living in a van, and I will talk more about, living in a van. Is it horrible? No. Is it wonderful? You adjust. And it works. And I'm not on the street. Thank you very much. I'm not on the street. So these choices that we make all have consequences. And what consequences you choose to accept by your choices is up to you. But loneliness, I don't acknowledge in my life. I can reach out. If I think I need it to be social, I go out and I be social. Talk to everybody I meet, go to the store, whatever. I'm social. If I need that. That's my reality. It's not yours. Nobody said it had to be yours. But I am present in today. As long as things are good. If they're not good, then I'm thinking about tomorrow. I just wanted to keep going on the subject of how we're living our lives. Aging process isn't easy. But we get through it. And I pretend it's not happening. So, on the wrinkles, forget it. So I want to thank you for subscribing, watching, liking, commenting, and please share if you feel someone could use this video. I hope it helped you. Talk to you next time. Have a great day.